The first thing that you may expect when getting down to a one-digit body fat level is a terrible, tiring, ever-present hunger. The sensation of satiety and hunger, as well as the related potential energy deficits, are regulated by two hormones, leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is a mediator for the long-term regulation of energy homeostasis. Its highest concentration occurs right after a meal caused by insulin. It influences the hypothalamus, where the most receptors are located, sending a signal that we are full. This is a very short version. On the other hand, when we're on a caloric deficit, the long-term absence of these signals causes an increase in the concentration of the other hormone, the fast-acting one, which is ghrelin. And it is ghrelin that is a pain in the ass for everyone on reduction, which only gets bigger the longer the fat loss period. It occurs in a few places, mainly in the stomach, but also in such places as intestines, hypothalamus, or pituitary gland. The lower the level of your body fat, the higher the concentration of ghrelin, causing you to feel more and more hungry, tired, and craving unhealthy, sugar-rich, and filling food. That's because the concentration of ghrelin drops the most in response to a supply of carbohydrates, and only then to a supply of proteins and fats. Unlike leptin, the concentration of ghrelin also has its diurnal fluctuations. If you ever wondered why it is at night when you feel the biggest urge to snack, the answer is, in people with no sleep rhythm disorders, its greatest concentration is from late evening hours to around 4 or 5 in the morning. That is also when we move the least, and it's movement and elevated heart rate that help block it. That's why cardio combined with coffee have such good effect on our mood when battling with hunger, even though after some time on reduction, the interest in any physical exertion drops. An interesting and rarely touched upon issue is its relation to many other hormones. This should be interesting both to naturals and those on doping alike. We are very well aware that elevated ghrelin levels also means elevated level of growth hormone. This is definitely an upside, often emphasized by the promoters of intermittent fasting style diets. But what difference does it make if at the same time it also lowers the level of insulin and glucose while increasing the level of cortisol? Firstly, due to the lack of glucose, we won't be able to get adequately pumped during a workout. Secondly, insulin has a stimulating effect on protein synthesis. What is important for naturals, with help of an enzyme called hydroxysteroid dehydrogenases, it contributes to elevating the level of free testosterone. It works in synergy with all the other anabolic hormones. When lowering the amount of insulin, even on supplementation, building muscle mass is more difficult. A perfect example is Brandon Harding, who, while on a relatively low caloric supply, even despite taking substantial doses of anabolics, lost a lot of muscle mass when preparing for a competition. As a natural, you'll lose even more. Fat reduction means stress to the body, to which it responds by increasing the production of cortisol, or the stress hormone. Cortisol increases not only the breakdown of carbohydrates, but also intensifies the release of free fatty acids from the adipose tissue and amino acids from proteins, including the muscle ones, which is why persistent high concentration of cortisol may lead to lowered percentage of lean body mass. At the same time, by being related to ghrelin, it causes the appetite to grow. Due to the high cortisol level, in order to protect itself, our body increases the production of prolactin as well, the high concentration of which kills our motivation, energy, and libido. Achieving low body fat level kills our libido, not only due to the elevated prolactin. Ghrelin receptors are also located in testicles. During a dangerous period such as reduction, the body doesn't want to reproduce, which lowers the activity of the pituitary hormones LH and FSH, leading to reduced production of the endogenous testosterone. If someone doesn't believe, I have some evidence on that. This has been proven by, among others, a 2-year study on an academic wrestling division conducted in the 80s. During the first year of study, the wrestlers observed that as their body fat level dropped, their anabolic hormones and sexual activity dropped as well. After starting the season, they returned to homeostasis, and then after starting again, their testosterone level dropped again, this time without any harm to intimate life. For that reason, I believe that taking mimetics of ghrelin such as MK677 is harmful for naturals because by elevating the level of the hunger hormone, it directly influences the testosterone level. It doesn't block the pituitary gland by the connection with the androgen receptor like steroids, but it causes a state in which the body doesn't want to produce testosterone, which means there's less of it. There's often a mistake here of adding actual inhibiting substances, even though it is a normal occurrence for mimetics of ghrelin to influence testosterone, although very indirectly through different routes. Vigorousa Steve also published his blood work from before and after an aggressive reduction on his channel. His reasons for food restrictions may have been different, but while implementing them, Steve's testosterone was at the level of 360 nanograms per deciliter. However, after introducing a balanced diet, supplementation, and testicle cooling, he quickly exceeded 650 nanograms per deciliter. WolfingPhysique experienced similar side effects with testosterone, and in his case, the measured total testosterone dived to the level of 322 nanograms per deciliter. What is interesting, the situation didn't change even after 3 months, when he ate at the level of his caloric demand. The key was adequate body fat level. Let us remember that fat is crucial in many aspects of body functioning, from maintaining a proper body temperature to the synthesis of vitamins such as A, D, E, and K. An adequate amount of it ensures the ability to maintain a homeostasis of the endocrine, circulatory, nervous, and even mental system. Of course, these are not all the possible side effects of heavy cutting. Each body reacts differently to reduction, and more can be said individually after conducting adequate blood tests. The issue of hunger, lowered libido, and motivation are the most experienced ones, and this is where I would like to outline the processes that occur inside the body then. If you personally experience something else during a strong reduction, I would love to read that in the comments.